Welcome everybody to the channel. You know, I was going back through my videos and I'm going down through the baits, and I realized that there's just a couple baits that I've never really talked to you guys about. These are kind of my secret, my go-to baits, especially for pressured ponds, is the Mega Bass Dark Sleeper. Can't believe I'm telling you guys about this bait. It is so hard to get a hold of. Their new bait, which I got a hold of me some, is the Mega Bass Sleeper Gill. Holy cow. I've been hunting for these. Every time I place an order, my order gets canceled because they sell out so quick, but I finally got a hold of some of these. I'm super excited. All the puddles that I fish in, at least the majority of them, all have bluegill in them. So to have something like this that is quiet, no rattles, no nothing, subtle swim bait, it's so versatile. Let me take this out of the package and tell you guys exactly why I love these sleeper gills. Well, here it is. This is the Mega Bass Sleeper Gill. So if you guys have ever seen the Dark Sleeper, which I absolutely love, this has the exact same features, except for this is a bluegill pattern. You could see that it's definitely thinner and taller, but it also has a bigger paddle tail than the Dark Sleeper does, but still has the awesome hook keeper, known for the Mega Bass Dark Sleeper. Has these awesome two fins here that have this thing swim unbelievably. These are 3/4 ounce, so what these are good for is a swim bait. You could swim them just like a swim bait, or you can use it as a jig. It is extremely weedless. So the weight's in the front, so when it's hitting, you know, bottom, it's like a feeding bluegill. Guys, this bait is awesome. This is why I kept it a secret, because when I go to a pressure pond and nobody else is catching fish, I throw the Dark Sleeper on and I catch fish, and I'm really hoping that this Sleeper Gill does the exact same thing. Let's get this rigged up. Let's do a little bit of fishing here at this heavily pressured pond on the bank. I'm gonna get out tomorrow on the kayak, and we're gonna do a little bit more fishing with this at a little bit bigger pond that I can get my kayak out on. It's still a heavily pressured area, and we're gonna do a little bit more fishing with this at another lake that's a little bit bigger. All right, there we are with the Mega Bass Sleeper Gill. I'm watching these bass just blow up on these bluegills in this pond here. I'm super excited about that. I'm really hoping that we can get some bass here today. The water's very dirty. Obviously that's not a concern of mine with this, because you know, with the Dark Sleeper that I'm used to fishing, it seemed to be productive, and it didn't matter if it was clear water, dirty water. For some reason it just produced. I like the weedless feature of this, so I can pull it through the shallow grass, no problem. The only thing that I can't see, we'll see what happens here if I can get it a little closer to see how this thing's running. It's the first time I got to fish with this, so see how this runs. Runs pretty sweet, actually, just like a bluegill. Holy cow, this pond is active today. I'm seeing all kinds of bait fish. I'm seeing, man, I don't know if you guys seen that. I just spooked a bunch of bait fish. That gets me excited. Where the bait fish is where the bass are. And everywhere I've casted this so far, there I've spooked bait fish. The swimming action on this is just phenomenal. It's staying true as it swims through the water. And what's nice is, you know, you could bounce this thing off the ground. You could do a yo-yo retrieve, cast this thing a country mile. And it being weedless, it really isn't picking up none of the grass. I can feel it pull through the grass. There's some bass blowing up on it right close to where my lure was. Just trying to do a yo-yo retrieve where I was popping it up and bring it back. Well, there we go. First bass on the sleeper gill, and it is a good one. That had to have been the guy that was in there chasing that bass. I figured if I pulled that bait through that area where that fish was roaming, that at some point he would see that bait and want to eat it up, and he did. It was a good, solid strike from the bass, engulfed that bluegill bait. So we're just going to continue to move around this pond, see if we can get some more bass to eat this dark sleeper. Ooh, there was another little bite. That sounded like it felt like a little guy. But to have another bite on this thing it's just great. You know, normally when a company comes out with something different to a bait that already works awesome, you kind of get a little worried because, you know, it's just never the same. You know, I was an original chatterbait guy, and they came out with all kinds of different chatterbaits. Just didn't work for me until they came out with the jackhammer. That worked. That was many chatterbaits later that they came out with the jackhammer. And I've always stuck with the original chatterbait. So when I found out that Megabass came out with a different type of dark sleeper, something that was more, you know, pushed towards the bluegill, I was excited, but I was a little concerned. But this thing swims good, comes through the grass really well, and obviously catches fish. So that was a huge pile of bait fish scattered right there. Man, I hope you guys are seeing this on camera. Let me try to point you down just a little bit more, just so you're not missing, you know, where all these bait fish, I mean, they're everywhere today. Ooh, I wonder what the skippability on here. The dark sleeper skipped awesome. I bet you this will too. It has a nice flat body to it. Okay, let's see if we can get a skip. Oh yeah, skips wonderfully. All right, I was just trying to run it through. So we know it skips. Let's see how it pitches. Well, like a dream. Has a little bit of a splash on that one. Let's see if we can get a little bit less of a splash. It's going to be tough with this 3/4 ounce bait, but there we go. That was much better. skip this thing under docks. I could pitch it towards cover and have it fall, you know, right in front, you know, right into a down tree or something, you know, something like that. Hit it right next to that grass patch right there. Just let it sink and it'll stick nose down like a feeding bluegill. You know, I've came out to this pond and I threw chatterbaits and I threw spinner baits and I threw swim baits and I'm throwing Texas rig weightless setups, and I could leave here and not catch nothing. Of course, you guys will never see that because that's not good content. You know, at least got to catch something, you know, to prove that I'm not the worst fisherman in the world. And look how he just choked that sleeper gill. Good hook set. I mean, he just choked that gill. Oh, look at that. That's a good 2-pounder. He has been eating. Look at that fat guy. Whoo! Yeah, buddy. First fish on the sleeper gill. Super stoked. Hopefully you guys got that. He just wanted that thing so bad. Let's get a good release on that, girl. There you go, buddy. Go back to eating. So I've came over to this other side, and I gotta tell you, as I'm throwing this bait in, I'm not spooking the bait fish like I was on the other side there. You know, if there's no bait fish over here, there ain't gonna be no bass over here. Oh, there was the first time I seen any life on this side. I've been doing the, you know, slow roll on the bottom. I've been burn, pause. Trying, you know, to see what them fish are looking for. When that first fish bit, I was just swimming it through. All right, so we're at a new spot. This spot is tough because, as you can see, the whole side of this pond is just covered in vegetation and growth. So there's only a couple spots to go, and unfortunately everywhere I look, there's people. So I figure I'd just come on this side for a little bit. All I grabbed was the sleeper gill. So we're gonna try to toss this around. I'm sure with deciding to come to this place first, it's probably pretty beat up with all the fishermen that I'm seeing here today, and women. There's a bunch, you know, a bunch of men and women here today, so I don't want to just say fishermen. All right, so no luck at the last spot, but it was just a tough fishing. So I'm here at the last spot that I'm gonna bank fish at today here with the sleeper gill. It's definitely been a cool bait. Tomorrow we're gonna get on the kayak and see how it performs on the kayak. Have a little bit more of an area to fish here. Than we did at the last spot. Water's a little bit clearer than the first spot we were at, but it's still pretty stained. Getting about 2 feet of visibility here at this pond. There is some more rock here at this one than there was the first one. The first one was just a lot of mud and grass. This one is a lot of rock and mud. So a little bit different of a scenario. You know, we hit a grassy pond today. We hit a pond that had a bunch of lily pads. And now we're hitting a pond with a bunch of rocks just to see how this performs. We know it's a good skipping bait. We know it's a good pitching bait. I can feel it bounce off these rocks. It's not getting all hung up, which is awesome. And this bait is just really turned out to be an awesome bait. Wasn't real productive today, but it's a tough day out today. It's just the water temperatures were warm. I haven't quite figured out where the bass were. The first pond I really just followed, you know, where the bait fish were busting at. Second one I just threw where I could. We'll have to see what happens here at this one. We're just going to keep moving. This one is a little bit of a larger one, so we're going to cover a bunch of water. Try the different techniques, the yo-yo technique, the swimming technique, and the burn and pause technique. Definitely feeling it bang off of rocks. It's not getting hung up, which I'm loving. You know, any bait that you can get banging off rocks and not getting hung up, you know, this is the reason why, right here is the reason why people don't allow people to fish at their properties anymore. Is because you got clowns that are out there that leave their trash on the property, and then the owners get tired of, you know, cleaning up other people's mess, so they just put up signs, no trespassing. So if you guys are out there, clean up your mess. Pretty much every pond I go to, I'm taking trash off of it, you know, cleaning up other people's messes. So I don't want to lose the ability to fish areas that I like to fish at. There's only just a couple in my area, you know, when I have a little bit of time to fish. So I try to keep them clean so they don't get shut down. One thing I have noticed with this sleeper gill is the hook seems to want to pop out of this guard a little bit more than a dark sleeper did. So I don't know if you guys can really see that or not, but it's solid right there. Solid. So I don't know if that's playing a part in having that hook pop out. I'll have to look at my dark sleeper and see if that has that solid piece there. Pretty sure it's just the fin split the whole way down to the bait body. Thanks for joining me out on the bank. We'll see you tomorrow out on the kayak. Well guys, welcome to the kayak. We have made it out on the water. I decided to start back in this cove before we get out into the main lake with this sleeper gill. Hey, we caught one yesterday, and I figure we come out here and see how it works. That was definitely a hit. Oh, that was a fish. Oh man. missed that one. It was such a light bite and I missed it. I gotta be on it. There we go. Oh no, I missed that one too. What is going on? All right, guys, so that's 2 misses. I really got to get the hook set off of this kayak. You know, I got to get it through that hook guard. But these fish, so I'm gonna try to really get a good hook set. I don't know if I got to start down low, but with that hook buried in that keeper, we definitely need to get a very hard hook set on there. That's why I figured that would be the case. That's why I decided to hook this up on my mock crush ride. This is 17-pound fluorocarbon. So I think when I feel that bite, I'm really gonna have to jack them on this kayak. I mean, I've always had issues on the kayak with getting good hook sets. I do not want that issue today. All right, I jacked him that time. Did we get him? Feels like a fish. Yeah, he feels like he's on there. He is on there. And look at that. Holy cow. He smoked that bait. Just choked it. Just choked it. There's the first fish on the kayak. Now this thing has just been crazy with the amount of fish that have been biting this thing already on this kayak. It is unbelievable. I think that was 3 casts. Well, it wasn't 3 casts in a row, but it was definitely, if they're all choking it like that, I don't know how I missed the first 2, other than I just didn't get a good hook set on it. Must have been a little guy. There we go. Let's see how this one ate. Ooh. Lost that one. They're extremely aggressive on here. How they're eating it, if they're not getting it all in the mouth. So I wanted to come out in more deeper water just to see, you know, this, to give this thing a full test on, you know, are we able to catch fish shallow? Yes. Can we catch fish off the bank? Of course. How about a little deep? Can we catch them deep? Can we catch them in 9-10 feet of water with 3/4 ounce bait? I'm sure it's not going to be an issue getting down to the depths of 10 feet. 10 feet's not really that deep, but you know, we got to find the fish. What an algae bloom is going on this lake today, which of course is going to make things more interesting. But this gives me the opportunity to try a yo-yo technique. And really letting it get to the bottom. Slow rolling it. There we go. Sorry guys, I didn't realize the GoPro was off on that hook set. This has just been a crazy bait. There we go. Oh my goodness. That's a little jumper guy. But look how he ate that. I mean, these fish are just choking that bait. See how they eat a bluegill by the tail? There we go. Let him go. It's crazy to see how they're eating this bait. by the tail. You know, that as you catch fish, you see how they're eating it. And then, you know, you get an idea, you know, on where to fish a certain bait, how to fish a certain bait, how to do, you know, hook sets on certain baits. I think we're getting a little shallow back here, so we might spin around. There we go. Oh, we're skiing him back. Must be a little guy. Yeah, it's just a little guy. Little guy that choked. Out in the deep. Little guy for the win. Pardon me. That was cool. Swimming it out here in the deep. Just counting it down a couple seconds and then, oh man, is that another fish? That was definitely another bite, and I think I missed it, guys. Yeah, I did. Jeez. That felt like a little bump. Yeah, some of these bites that I'm getting today on this sleeper gill are aggressive. They're hitting it, they're getting a mouthful, and they're running. Some of them, like that one there, was a weird, like, just a weird quick grab and go, or it was a small fish. Thought that was a fish. Unless he's swimming right to me. And I haven't even had to try any other techniques. All I've been really doing is swimming it. So I don't know if it's just, you know, that time of the day. I mean, we are early, you know, we're fairly early in the morning. Maybe the bass are just eating right now. I've got the window where they're going to eat this swim bait. Or the action on this bait is just phenomenal, which we know it is. I mean, there we go. Oh, stay on, baby, stay on. Alright, so that one is hooked kind of funky. Are we gonna get out or what? No, don't spike me. Just relax. Got him. Alright. Holy cow, guys. Dude, look. Oh, while I was trying to get that other fish off, I put this bait just in the water. I just put this bait. Oh, it was off the side of the boat. Come here, buddy. Let me show the camera. Okay, so as I was getting this fish off, I had the bait off the side of the boat, and this fish grabbed it. Do you believe that? That is freaking unbelievable. All right, there goes the one. Come here, guy. You are crazy. That's just a much smaller guy. Let's get a good release on him. What is going on with this dark sleeper? Holy cow, that was cool. All I did was have the bait in the water, and as I was getting this other fish off, I felt my rod almost get pulled out of my lap, and it was another fish. Do you believe that? Crazy. Sleeper gill. I knew I should have kept this a secret. Oh man. don't know if my bite window went away for this bait, or I'm just not in the right area for this bait. But they have stopped biting on this very, very quickly. Within, you know, the bite was on, and in a matter of minutes, the bite was off. So we're gonna pitch this around a little bit more. Well, there we go. As soon as I said that. That guy was barely hooked. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Woo. That's probably about the biggest one I've gotten here so far. He does not want to come out. There we go. Yeah, buddy, look at that. Woo. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that guy. Freaking choked that thing. Holy cow. That is a good 2.5 pounder. Definitely the biggest one that I've got out of this place. Look at that. Let's get a weight. My scale's close by. There it is. Let's get a weight on this guy. I bet you he's pushing 2.5 pounds. There it is, zeroed out. £2 pounds 7 ounces. I figure he's had to been pushing 2.5 pounds. That is a nice bass right there. Let's get a good picture of him for the Instagram. Don't forget, guys, follow me on my Instagram. There's all kinds of stuff that I talk about there on Instagram. Alright, let's get a good release on this girl. Thank you. There we go. Oh, got off. Got off. Unfortunately, my battery died for that fish, so you didn't see me release it. That is a decent fish. We'll just keep fishing along. GoPro, stop recording. Well, there we go. Another fish on the sleeper gill. It's a little fat guy. I had a great time. Let's get a good release on this girl. The hassle in trying to find these baits. I had a great time fishing it. We caught a bunch of fish with it. Go out and check out Monster Bass Sleeper Gill. Also check out the dark sleeper, but the sleeper gill is their new deal, especially if your ponds or puddles are full of bluegill. Thank you everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, hit that thumbs up, baby. Let's get this community growing. Let's get the Puddle Jumpers Nation into a Puddle Jumpers army.